Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to talk about Kriya Yoga and prayer. So many different Kriya Yoga schools use a form of prayer at the beginning of their meditation. So in some schools, some of these prayers are more involved than in others. And in some particular Kriya Yoga schools, they will go through a sort of a hierarchy of people from God down to the guru. And many of the different gurus in between through a particular lineage. And certainly in the Panchanan Bhattacharya lineage, the Kriya Yoga lineage, which I am part of and which I teach, we use a form called Guru Pranam, which happens at the beginning of the meditation. With this Guru Pranam, it's not just about making a prayer, but actually using some of the techniques of Kriya Yoga, plus an internal kind of prayer or mantra. And so the prayer at the beginning of Kriya Yoga can be a way that one can set one's intention or try to connect with one's spiritual lineage. And we can talk about prayer or the spiritual connection as having three distinct levels. The first level is really belief. It is the belief about the divine. So these are ideas that come from one's spiritual heritage. They come from one's culture. They come from one's personal beliefs about the divine. So the idea at the very beginning, especially if people don't have a background in spirituality, is that they're trying to connect with something that is deeper than just their everyday experience. And to do that, they're accepting a system of beliefs. Beliefs about the world, beliefs about the divine, beliefs about their role in the nature of this world and their relationship with the divine. And so often people will begin this relationship with prayer, this connection, this trying to establish a spiritual connection, as very much as themselves being apart from the divine. And the prayers often in those times are very much the prayers of somebody who is propitiating a deity to get something, to get gifts from them. Oh, please God, give me an open heart, or please help me to overcome particular obstacles. So these are words projected outwards to an idea of the divine in a hope that the divine will favor the person. And so it's a very kind of disconnected way to have a relationship with the divine. It's very much like a beggar, begging for the favors of an omnipotent deity. And so that kind of way of praying, which is one might call a parrot prayer, creates a very superficial connection with the divine. And it's something that can be easily shaken by one's experience because it's really formed on beliefs. And when the ideas about the beliefs are challenged, people will often be very reactive to what they're being challenged. And I've certainly seen that on this channel when I've said certain things about Kriya Yoga and people have a vested emotional interest in their beliefs around certain things about Kriya. And what I've said has challenged them despite the fact that there is evidence to support my position. And then they've been very reactive towards me. And so that's an example of how one has these fragile beliefs that are easily challenged by others, and they need to defend those beliefs because this is the way the world is. Now, I get that. That's the first stage, really, in developing your connection with the divine, but it's not a requirement. It's just where most people end up. So there's a second phase in prayer, which really has to do with faith. It's not blind belief, but what it is a intuitive understanding of the connection with the divine. So what that means is that one starts to move beyond the ideas of belief and beyond words that describe the connection with the divine. Be able to use one's inner willpower to sense and be aware of the connection to the divine. It becomes tangible. From an idea that could be challenged by others, it suddenly becomes a reality for people because they are on the verge of feeling it. Even if they don't really feel a response from the divine, they know their connection is there, they have faith in it. It's because part of them is connecting into a deeper aspect of reality, right? Into a deeper aspect of themselves, into a deeper aspect of the divine. But you may not have experiences to confirm your faith. You just know that it is correct. You know that it's there because you can sense it intuitively and you know it's there. But you may not have had an experience to validate what you intuitively know. So that is really the third phase of prayer, is that experience of the divine. You start to experience it. And I'm not just talking about visions here where people will see Vishnu or Krishna. It can be more subtle than those particular visions. It's a feeling that you have that connection, but also there's something that is subtle that underlies all of experience, all of existence, and you start to tune in and connect with that and get response from it. And that is really when you start to experience your connection with the divine, realizing that there's a continuity from the deepest levels of creation all the way through to our experience here in this everyday realm. And this is where Kriya Yoga is perfectly poised to take one beyond a belief stage, beyond a faith stage, into an actual experience stage in spiritual connection. And it does this by ingeniously bringing us into a low idle state so that all of the machinations of our mind and our emotions get calmed. And suddenly we're able to be still enough inside to perceive this essence which is really the spiritual connection. And we realize that we're more than our bodies, more than our minds, more than our emotions, and so on. But we are part of that whole continuity which goes back to source. And so Kriya Yoga, in particular Kriya Pranayama, which brings one into pratyahara, into an internalized state, which induces the tranquil breath, which is the state of breathlessness, if you will, which brings us into a deep perception of an internalized void inside, which then allows us to be sensitive to internal spiritual experiences, which then allows us to become absorbed in those spiritual experiences and to have this superconscious awareness. Kriya Yoga allows us to practically shift from being the beggar of prayer, which is just based solely on belief, beyond to somebody who has faith in the divine, all the way to one has the experience of the divine, so that we can embody this divine connection and manifest it in our everyday experience. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.